Your Excellency, Lord Mayor, Deputy Premier, Ministers, Parliamentary Secretaries, I shan't name you all, parliamentarians, archbishops, bishops, imams. The thing that characterises tonight is joy, isn't it? That the conversations around the tables, so many different people with so many different interests, and yet there's this joy in gathering today. And we're not oblivious to the suffering. Each of the speakers has talked about the troubles of our time, what is happening in Gaza, what happens in Ukraine and elsewhere. We can't be oblivious to that. But today is a celebration. It's a celebration of breaking fast as part of Ramadan. And if I can pick up from the opening speeches, Ramadan is a time deeply imbued with optimism. It offers the faithful a period dedicated to fasting, prayer and reflection, fostering a sense of community, joy and an optimistic outlook. It's a time for spiritual rejuvenation, contemplation and reassessment of one's faith and daily practices. And so true of all of the Abrahamic religions, that we have Lent and Passover at this time. And again, we celebrate together. Last year I was overcome with attending the world's first Iftar Shabbat dinner. And many of you who are here, and Gabby who's here today, I mean, what a memory that was. And so many of us will go on to home Iftar dinners, celebrating with families. And if you haven't been to one, I know someone at our table hadn't been to one yet, I can certainly commend that. My job on behalf of so many esteemed people is to offer the thanks. And firstly to Ingrid and John, to host this event and to give those marvellous, inspiring speeches. We are utterly grateful. And to Ahmet. Ahmet, you're a bloody hard worker, aren't you? Bringing us together. And last year I interviewed Ahmet on the significance of Ramadan. And he said this to me: Ramadan is time for purifying the soul and recalibrating oneself. By doing so, you accept that challenges exist, but you are more adamant to get through the year ahead with your renewed sense of optimism. You can see why I quoted him. We were graced again tonight with the beautiful Adham by Ibrahim, reminding us of the significance of this time. And I'm just always stunned by his, the sung word. My heart almost vibrates as you listen to it. And so beautifully done, reminding us of the religious significance of this time. And then a special note of appreciation to Her Excellency the Governor. I had the opportunity to hear her speak a couple of months ago to a youth audience. And again, there was that inspiration. But I'd like to share a quote of the Governor's from about 10 years ago. And she said this. Now, in fact, it wasn't a speech, it was an interview. I asked you. And she said this: all leaders have ambition. However, I've never gone anywhere I wasn't fundamentally committed to what the institution was or could be. That has driven me. This gives me a passion for what I'm doing. That passion comes from caring about the outcomes for the institution. I am an optimist, like most leaders. That goes with the territory. If you weren't an optimist, I think you'd give up. And that's the sort of leader we have as Governor. That's the sort of leader we have and need in these times. To John Pesutto, again, some years ago I interviewed him and he said this: I'm optimistic because we get so little time to do good. Because of all the pressures, all the challenges that confront leadership, you have to make the most of every opportunity you have. You can't afford to dwell or obsess about all the things that can go wrong or that are in your way. There is a joy, a real joy in achieving something for the people you represent. And I think that's the feeling again in this room. And to Ingrid, I read one of your opening speeches as a Member of Parliament, and you talked about migration and the honour of the Australian citizenship ceremony. And I think, again, for all of us today, it's a symbol of today. Ingrid said this of an Australian citizenship ceremony: "The joy and hope on display is the big-hearted, generous and optimistic Australia that I want to be a part of." And again, I think it symbolises what we have here today. Our deep gratitude to Uncle Shane. You bring that innate optimism and innovation of 60,000 years of exploration and innovation and joy in country. And again, you know, after that vibration of the music you played, I think will stay with us for many weeks and months indeed. And then to Mary Gearan, for your warm welcome and positive performance. You know how to make us feel good. And so to express our gratitude to you, my great friend Scott Chapman, the flying doctor's man, is going to come up to the stage and make a presentation to you, Mary. So if you could come up, and Scott. Good to see you. It wasn't on your script.
No, it wasn't.
So come and stand there and take the presentation. Mary. And then lastly, to all of you. Again, you know, each of you has come here today to join in this wonderful Ramadan festivity, this breaking of bread. I was a bit naughty on my table. I passed the dates around a little bit early before the prayer. But I still have the roughly right idea. As we depart tonight, let us carry forward the spirit of Ramadan, cherishing our shared values, extending our hands in friendship, and building bridges of understanding and respect. May the rest of Ramadan bring you peace, joy, and blessings.